Sorare Squad, how you doing? Jeremy Magan here. Another episode of, I guess, my Sorare journey. I want to call it a lineup builder, but it might not be all I do on this one. So let's get going. We'll have a quick look at game week 312 and the results of my limited teams who did okay. And we'll look as well as the game week 313. 313 313 is that Detroit 313? I think it is. Some of my listener would be able to tell me that, I'm sure. So yeah, we'll just have a look at what happens these days in the Sorare world. For myself, I guess first things first. As you can see, I am raising a bit of ETH up here, and I'll talk about later why is there maybe in a future episode. I did sell a couple of my good scoring players there that were in game week 312 but won't be in game week 313 anymore. Anyway, let's look at the results there. I'm pretty stoked with my results in limited America. Let's have a good look at it. It looks like projected is fourth for me. Look at those results, right? Brenner with 100, Aleman with 95, and he was the captain. Palacios got 88, Rodrigo Rey got 94, and Leonardo Morales 45 only, but that is still enough for me to finish just outside of the podium for 3 points. A great result, though. It's a tier 0 limited coming my way, and yeah, like I said, I'm pretty stoked about that. The other reward that I'll get is a tier 2 limited for my Challenger Europe team. Of course, as you can see, a little bit of a Ajax stack. Steven Berghuis, who was the captain, David Klassen, who came in and won. Shout out to Josh. Who not Josh John, sorry, who did talk about him on the Sorare TV podcast, and Devin Range, who just had 49, Edson Alvarez, and Onur Khan Piri, the goalkeeper from Giresunspor, who got 95 and helped me a lot. I think I have a third reward, an under 23 reward, despite not having the goalkeeper playing. So John Polskam didn't play for Vancouver. I should have known that, but I didn't. But Austin Trusty got 70. George Mihailovic, 88 for the last MLS game of the season before the playoff, of course. Quentin Tiber, only 44. Clearly, I didn't pick the right captain. And Jesus Ferreira, 84 for an assist with Dallas. So should be 3 rewards. And I'm pretty happy with that. Of course, with that champion America reward in limited. Didn't do too well in the rare. I don't know if we can even see any of the teams. I have to show more teams anyway. That doesn't matter. When I don't do too well, we don't need to show it, right? Anyway, let's look at game week 313. I wanted to be a lineup builder, but actually I've done my lineups already before, so I might as well just run you through them. Let's look again at limited America because it worked so well the past week. I kind of did a bit of the same, right? Rodrigo Rey as a keeper, Leonardo Morales in defense, Brahim Alaman, and Eric Ramirez, who scored on the weekend, but I didn't have in my lineup. I put it on. And I've added Rodrigo Aguirre with them. The reason why I took Rodrigo Aguirre is because in Mexico, it's the start of the playoff. And so Rodrigo Aguirre, who's one of the forward at Monterrey, is playing the first round of playoff midweek. So it's almost a must-win, really, for Monterrey. So hopefully the forward's going to have a good game. As far as the Gimnasia crew go, same thing. They sort of have to have a win. And they're playing, if my memory serves me right, they're playing against, I think, San Lorenzo on the week. And San Lorenzo is 6 points behind them. Gimnasia right now is 6 on the table with 1 game in hand on 5th place. Fifth to second, really. And they have 40 points, and they're 4 points behind second place Racing Club. So if they win that game midweek, they are just a point behind Racing Club before Racing's game. And then the game in hand that Gimnasia has is, of course, against Boca Junior, that game that was interrupted last week. And so if they then win that game as well, they could go ahead of Boca. So it is an important one for Gimnasia, and with only like 3 games left to go in Argentina, it's a bit of a must-win really for them. So that's why I picked them to be my limited America, as I do almost every time, right? Limited Asia. I like my as you guys know, I like my let me get back to that. I enjoy my Kawasaki frontal. Oh, that was a good glitch. I enjoy my Kawasaki frontal team. Miki Yamane was quite underrated because he's not having the best season. And Yasuto Wakizaka in there, of course. Takuya Iwami will be in there because he's great scorer for Urawa Red, and they're playing against Consadole Sapporo, who's not been the best team offensively recently. I put Lars Veldvik up front because he plays against Songnam. Songnam was at the bottom of the Korean league, of course, and I trust that Velvich could do some damage there. Maikawa is my keeper with Kobe because they play against Shonan Belmar, and hopefully he can get an actual result against them this week. Challenger Europe, of course, it's European football going on. The keeper was Sieben Hendel, or we can see the choices that I have there. Cool. I took Sieben Hendel just because I didn't have any other keeper, really. In defense, as is Behic, who's playing at home against Hibs. Hibernians had a good game this weekend, but I just didn't trust that Dinamo Zagreb would get a result at home against the Rebel Salzburg. And, Moharami has played recently, but Lauritsen hasn't. So I just didn't want to take that risk. I think playing the Ajax player might be a bit of a risk because Napoli has been so strong. And, of course, Napoli smashed them in Amsterdam last week. But I thought maybe, they're going to want to get a bit of revenge and to wake up. So hopefully they can do something. And then Quinten Timber is my extra. He's playing against Midtjylland up at home at Rotterdam. So hopefully get a good result. I don't have huge hopes for Challenger Europe, but we'll see where that brings us. Champion Europe, I didn't really have a keeper for it, so I just put Ivo Grbic just in case, I don't know, something happened with Atletico. William Saliba is in defense because Arsenal is traveling to Bodo Glimt. And then it's the Marseille team that has to have a result in Sporting Club de Portugal. Spoiler alert, I don't think that they're getting any results, and I don't think that I'm getting much from this squad. But if they do get a result, it'll be probably thanks to at least two of those three players, Verretou, Payet, and Alexis Sanchez. I really think it's going to be a tough sell for Marseille to get something in Portugal this weekend. If we look at the last couple of teams that I have honed, Kickoff Limited, I put Oblak as a keeper. I put the leading team of Japan, the Yokohama F Marinos, of course, my two limited. So Nakagawa front and Koike, the right back. And then the two other common, Rafael Leao, who just won't show his face, and Okun Kokshu, of course. So it could be actually an all right result in Kickoff Limited, I reckon. And then Limited All-Star is a bit of a mix of the players that I had in Limited that I thought could score okay-ish and maybe grab one reward. Song Bum-Kum, the keeper from John Book, Aziz Behic, Seiya Maikima, who had a couple of good results with Cerezo the last couple of games, so hopefully he's in there. Andras Schaefer with Union Berlin because they play against Malmö at home, so maybe he'll get a bit more game time. And Gerso Fernandez, who's always a bit up and down, but they're going to Incheon Jeju, and I think they will want to get that result to be able to stick to the top of the table. All-Star is where now I have, I guess, less and less players because I've sold a couple of team ETH earner, I should say. Kim Yong-kwan in keeper, I think it's going to be a tough game for him because they're playing against Suwon and against Velvich. Hong Yun-un, who scored a goal on the weekend, is going to Suwon, and Daiju, of course, is not where they're supposed to be on the Kelly Gladder, so maybe they will want to finish with a bang. Little Yokohama F Marimos midfielder Joel Chima Fujita. I don't know if I've ever spoken about Fujita, but he is the under 21 or under 19 captain for the Japanese national team, and he's a midfielder that I rate. So they're going to host Jubilo Yokohama, and I would be surprised if old mate Kevin Muscat decides to start Fujita in the midfield for that game. Pablo Perez is back in the Newell Old Boys starting lineup. He's the captain, of course, of the Old Boys. They're playing against Tigre. They don't have much to play for the Old Boys, but they would be almost level with Tigre if they win that game. And Luis Suarez, in case they do something against in Portugal, Marseille, he probably will play his part. maybe it's a threshold team. I'm going in there without much expectations, but we'll see where that brings us. And then the underdog limited, I thought it was worth mentioning, basically just because I finally got Julian Alvarez. I was looking into getting him for a while. His price sort of went down a little bit. We know how strong, of course, Erling Haaland is for Manchester City, but they have in Julian Alvarez a replacement that is probably as good and as lethal. So maybe they'll give him a bit of game time when they go to FC Copenhagen. FC Copenhagen, whose goalkeeper was Matthew Ryan up until this weekend. I don't know if you guys have heard about that feud. If you haven't, you should go and have a look at it. The now number one goalkeeper of FC Copenhagen decided to come out and say, I'm not friends with Matthew Ryan or something like that in an interview, and create some sort of a weird feud within the locker room, and then sort of came back on his word and said, oh, it's not what I said. We don't have to be friends. We're competitors. But long story short, Matthew Ryan, the goalkeeper of Australia, who's going to play in the World Cup and be the starter in the World Cup, is now on the bench. So his price has gone down a little bit. It's probably a good pick for anybody who wants a keeper right now. You might not get much utility from him between now and the World Cup, but at the World Cup, he'll definitely be starting if you want to look for a goalkeeper. Anyway, that's probably about it. It's a short one this week, but I wanted to kind of go through those team picks for my midweek player. Have you seen, of course, the shirts behind me, France and Australia? I might as well just have those one up until the World Cup starts. It's going to be the first game for both teams, of course, France, Australia. I think it'll be 6 a.m. kickoff for me here in Australia. It'll be 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. maybe in France. So it'll be the first game of the World Cup that I'm looking forward to see. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, short one to look at 3-1-3. It'll be maybe a bit longer for 3-1-4. Maybe by then there won't be 1.6 ETH anymore in my wallet up there. We'll see where that gets. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, ask some questions, comment. Let me know if you think that I did some terrible lineup choices. But yeah, midweek, that's the choices that I have, unfortunately. Ciao, ciao.